everybody, I'm Mike Wolf, and this is another edition of The Rewind. We're here with Jason and Eric, both two of the stars from Way Darker Than You Think. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the characters you played and maybe a little bit about yourself?
I'll start. Well, I played Rick, who was kind of a, what did I call him, an ethnically confused guy. I played kind of a gangster type character, and I'd never gotten the opportunity to really do that before, but it's something that I think was in me. Like, I wanted to play that. It was
almost scary natural,
yeah,
to be honest with you.
Like, when somebody gives you an excuse and says you have to do this, I was all over it.
Like,
so,
oh, rats.
Yeah. A gun and gold chains and a hat, and yeah, I had a really good time with it. And so I'd never done a movie role like that before. I'd had one other, a few other little parts in movies, but just kind of, be the guy that opens the door, or be the guy that does this. And so that was the first role that I got to actually learn lines and play characters. So
very cool. Well, and I had to play off of you, and I appreciate your patience as far as my inability to remember lines. But you were very funny, and I can't wait to see it because it cracks me up. And plus, I'm in it too. I have a bit of an ego. And Eric, your character was.
His name was, and still is, Polanski, and he was kind of a egocentric. He was the director of the movie within the movie, very Shakespearean, and but he had an awful English accent, and then probably still does. And so yeah, and I was that guy.
Do you remember any of the words that we were practicing in this room? What was it, tallywhacker? I don't even know what.
Yes, I definitely. Well, yeah.
Daffin something.
Dilifan or something like
that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was funny watching the development of your character for sure. Do you feel like either one of you guys had a little bit of those character in yourself, or did you have to really reach to try to bring this character out as something totally new from something different?
I'm very method, so I lived as Polanski for about a week before we went to go shoot. Yeah, and so I everybody it was kippers for breakfast and spotted tea and all that, and so. And and I pretended to not know the people that Eric Weber knows and things like that.
Well, I will say this. You were probably one of the more difficult people and the funnier people I've worked with in the sense that you're just so creative. A lot of the lines you had were not the same. We kind of let you run with it. I think that was definitely the genius of letting you run with your character. It was tough for me not laughing during the scenes, though, so that was the only part that was tough on me. Do you feel that there's a huge difference between what you do live and how you had to do this as opposed to something you could retake like 10 times like we did?
No, because sort of. I mean, like, Jay and I will have these arguments, not really arguments, but discussions.
We fight all the time.
Yeah, and he gets the knife all the time. No, but we'll have these discussions during our improv show where it seems like I might be more suited to that sort of improv, which in the improv world we call long form. And where you have one character, instead of, short form, which is sort of what we do on stage, which is more like, give me an interesting place these two might meet. Okay, he's got a hunchback made out of Gouda cheese or something,
For
and
sure.
so, and then it's over in 3 minutes. Whereas instead it's sort of that thing where I'm one character, but I'm kind of reacting as that character, just acting, I guess. But then it's also fun to just kind of lose yourself in it and whatever.
Very cool.
I'm sure. Yeah, you can say that's cool because you're not the one doing the editing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
sure on the end of that.
I have heard the comments from Trevor, and it's been interesting. Funny enough, your looping went really well, which I was shocked at.
I did, the first line I had to loop when I went in, which obviously wasn't in the script, was "Hey, why we and I think I'm telling you to wait or something. I'm like wait, and so that was the first line I had to kind of go okay, woo wah woo wah be woo wah. And try to remember and loop it.
I don't think I can even repeat any of the lines I had to loop.
No,
on here, but
I thought about having a bleep section, but that would pretty much be the whole rest of this if you did some lines. How about for you, Jason? I mean, obviously you do live every day, and then with your improv, obviously everything's right there. You don't have retakes. What was it like having something you could reshoot?
I think it's fun. I love that. I mean, I love being able to be in the moment, in the sense where you know what you're doing, but you can kind of have take some liberties with it and get creative. But then you have the opportunity afterwards to say, okay, you've done it once now. Go back and do it again, and you can say, okay, well, I didn't like that. I want to take a longer pause here, and so you can kind of play with it and then correct it over time. Where most of the stuff I do, you just get it out there, and then you kind of leave it, and hopefully it works, and it either does or doesn't. Whereas this, you can kind of work on it take after take.
Absolutely. I guess that's part of it too. Where in our improv, you get one chance, and then. But for this is, you know, you could make something up and go, oh, but almost, and like, what if instead I did that on the next take or whatever.
Well, and this is a unique setting because you guys have worked with so many of the cast in the past, obviously the ones that work for Projectile Comedy, but not just then the ones you work with in other places. For me, there were people like Danielle who really didn't have an opportunity to do something like this before, or even like, say, Annie Kennedy, who had never worked with makeup but now is looking at a career in makeup because she did a fantastic job. There's got to be a great sense of pride for your friends just knowing that something like this really helped them take something to another level. Did you guys feel a sense of that, or...?
Yeah, I did too. I mean, I have a sense of pride, I think, for everybody involved in it, just because it was so... I think everybody, you know, like you said with Annie and the makeup, and obviously everything you did, and Trevor did, and Dan did, and all these people, there's so much that people put into it, and I think everybody gave it their all, and just had such a good time, and it was like such a cool family environment that you kind of look around and say, like, there's a lot of people here that haven't done this before, and they stepped up to the plate, and the people that... you know, knew what they were doing, helped everybody else get up to that level, and it was just a real cool, like, community effort. So I think, I mean, I looked at everybody involved and thought, like, that's really cool that it just worked out as well as it did.
And everyone, you know, did what they were there to do, and excellently, and just, you know, it was fun project, and, like, a lot of passion, and just, yeah.
Well, do you guys feel this is something you'd like to do in the future? Hopefully, if, you know, I mean, with Trevor, I hate to say it, he's always going to want another one or a sequel. Is this something that kind of, you got a bug for, you would want to do again, even if it wasn't for us?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd want to do it if it wasn't for you, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I'd love to do it.
Oh, yeah, right.
I think it's so fun. I mean, people have asked me that too, like, what was the deal with the zombie movie? Why'd you do the zombie movie? And I said, because I like to do projects with good people. You know, I like to work with people that know what they're doing, that have a vision, that can say, here's what we want you for. And if it sounds like something I enjoy, you know, as long as there's time in the schedule, I'd love to do it. Especially something like this. I have so many good memories from Eric being sick the whole time and staying in that little cabin. I mean, I had a great time.
And the throwing up and the puking
and the pooping.
And the pooping.
It was both ends.
Well, I guess a good way to kind of wrap this up is there anything you think that you've seen something that people might be really excited to see in this film?
I think that people in Billings anyway should be excited to see all of the people they know. That's what's so cool about it. It's like a lot of times with these projects, it's so small with the people involved. It's like 2 or 3 people, and you might know one of them. But this, it's so large with the amount of people involved, and there's so many people from different walks of life. I mean, there's us from the comedy world, and then you've got you and Trevor, and you guys kind of have your crew from the movie world, and then you've got people from restaurants and martial artists, and it's just like a cool mix of people from around town. And I think anybody likes watching their friends, you know, and seeing something new. So I think that's what people should look forward to. Very
cool. Well, guys, thanks again for taking the time. It means a lot to me, and
we're very coordinated.
Very coordinated. Projectile Comedy is on Thursday nights, and obviously Jason is Big J, who's on every morning with Justin, McLovin, who also helped out, and we'll be doing an interview with him probably next week.
That was one of my favorite parts, by the way, was seeing him try to be professional.
I thought you were going to say the teabag picture, but...
Well, that too. That's my second favorite part.
There was a teabag picture?
You never saw that?
I don't think I saw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was good.
I'm telling you, that'll be a special thing for just us. All right, guys, thanks again, and stay tuned for the next episode of The Rewind.